Hello, hello, and welcome to the Aluric Channel's 5-year anniversary. That is just wild to me. 5 years ago on this day, I uploaded the first video on the channel. It's crazy to think that much time has passed already, but also not crazy at all because of how much my life has changed in those 5 years. But it's been a wild ride. Oh my, let me upfront say thank you so much to everybody who has viewed my content, engaged with it, followed me on Discord or Tumblr or here or Twitch or anywhere. Anyone who's supported me on Ko-fi, anybody who's just popped in for a moment, every single one of you who's interacted with the channel to any capacity, thank you. It's those interactions that make it worth it doing this, that make it feel like it's worth doing. And the channel's changed so much in this last year. I mean, just look at my fucking VTuber model. I don't even think I had one this time a year ago. And the channel's only gonna keep getting better as time goes on. So again, thank you so much to everybody who's supported me in any way up until now. I can't even put into words how dumbstruck I am to have people enjoy my content the way that it's been enjoyed. Every time it comes to the year update, I just don't even know what to say, aside from thank you for everything, every bit of interaction, all of it. Thank you. But moving aside from that, let's get to the thing that we're here for. The thing that I do has become a tradition for the channel's anniversary. But ranking every single game I've played this year onto a ranking list. Now, this is what last year's ranking looked like. This is how it looked at the end of last year, how I ranked every single game I played, and part of why I'm showing this is we're about to see a little bit of a change in the ranking system. So let me just slide that aside real quick. And this is our new ranking. Which you'll notice first off, very hard to read anything because of how zoomed out we are. So let me go ahead and zoom in and show what's changed. I've now added plus and minus grades, so every game is either going to be an S, A plus A minus, B plus B, B minus, C plus C, C minus, D plus D, D minus, F plus, F, F minus, and then these are my unranked games. By the way, in the background here, today we have playing a collection of music from every single game that is in the S and A ranking currently. So every one of the games up here, except Old World Blues, because that's what it is. It's a mod, not a game. But every single one of these, I've selected a song from their OST to put in. In some cases, it was my favorite song. In some cases, it was the song I could add that I knew wouldn't get copyright claimed. I'm looking at you, Atomic Heart. In some cases, it's just a song that I felt was very calming or fitting for the game. So that's gonna be what's playing in the background. We just a moment ago had Timberhearth from Outer Wilds, my favorite game of all time, and now we're listening to Possum Springs from Night in the Woods. But so before we can get to ranking all of the games I beat this year, which this is the honestly surprisingly short list, but honestly not that surprising considering Death Stranding 1 and 2 are on there. Yeah, those probably ate a majority of my Let's Play time this year. I'm pretty sure between the two of them I've spent a year in that game. But so first thing we gotta do is adjust everything's existing grades based off the existence of A pluses and minuses. So as a bit of context, my criteria for each ranking, the C-D rank, that is the line of what I call the good game rank. You need to, if you are at least a C- or above, it's a good game. D+ and below is where I am starting to call a game bad. Now, the D grades are, this game is bad, but it's so close to being good, where there's just one or two things that held it back. And you know, that's what the D range is. Well, F is like, I will not recommend this game. And don't worry, some of these things are going to get drastic changes. Oh my god, heartburn hitting me all of a sudden. It's always when I'm recording a video that's not on stream that I get super bad heartburn. It's so weird. C range is, yeah, that's a good game, you know? If it looks interesting to you, get it. It's a good game. It meets the threshold of what I feel like a game needs to do. And different games will be judged on different criteria. An indie game, I'm going to be more lenient and generous to than a AAA game, because big companies I have higher expectations out of. Small indie projects, you know, I understand the limitations of what they're doing. B, we're getting into the I recommend this game if you like games similar to it category. And A is, if you like games, play this game. Simple as that. Meanwhile, S, the S ranking is everyone should play these games. I think every single person should play games in S. And in that end, see, way back when I did the ranking, you all may remember, I was really unsure of where to put Chants of Sennaar. Also, I do, hang on, this is part of the thing's not working correctly, give me a second. Where is it? Seeing a little bit of back end. Well, I need to turn on Snap to Grid. There we go, that'll help me a little bit with moving things more smoothly, and let me also hide the grid. I should have done that beforehand. There we go. But yeah, back last year when I was ranking Chants of Sennaar, I was really unsure if whether to put it in A or S, and I was like, it's too good to throw into A, but it's not too good to, oops, wrong layer. It's not too good to fall down into A+. So I'm so sorry to Chants of Sennaar, but it has fallen into the A+ category. I also want to rearrange these a little. Actually, no, I'm going to leave these as they are. So in the case of S, the furthest right game is the one I like the most. So it goes Outer Wilds, Hypnospace, Night in the Woods. No other category is going to be ranked like that. Just homogenize everything that's in the same letter grade together with each other. Don't treat any of them as better than the other. If everything in A is as good as everything else in A, everything in A+, as good as everything else in A+. There may be some minor variant, but S, in this case, Night in the Woods is the least favorite of the three, then Hypnospace with Outer Wilds being my favorite game of all time. That being said, Night in the Woods is still an S-class game. It's an amazing, amazing, beautiful game, and I actually want to replay it on the channel someday to get some alternate endings and see some more of the story I didn't see. But with that out of the way, let's start ranking some of these. I'm gonna sit up a little bit more. It's not like there's a lot that I'm gonna be blocking from sight. Ooh, we've now moved on to our next song. It's now Sleep Time Computing from the Hypnospace Outlaw OST. Some of these songs are only going to be a couple minutes. Some of these songs are going to be, like, close to 10. So, first off, Bioshock 2 is going to immediately get promoted into the A+ category. One of the best FPSs I have ever played. A truly astounding game. Paper Mario, I think, is going to stay in A. It is a fantastic game that I highly recommend. Atomic Heart is going to move up to A+, and that's with me taking into account the DLCs that I have played. If you were just looking at them, so any of these games, I'm going to look at them as a whole package, all of the DLC, how you can get it right now if you had everything. In the case of Atomic Heart, if it was just the base game, it probably would have just gone A. But I've only played 2 of the DLCs, and honestly, the Dream World DLC alone pushes it to A+. It's part of the point where I'm like, I almost wish that content was in the base game. Halo is going to get promoted to A+. Because of course it is, because it's one of the best FPSs ever made, no doubt in my mind. Webbed, I think I really want to put it in A+, but I really need to reserve A+ for the truly standout games. We've now moved on to Bounds Reforged from Chants of Sonara OST, by the way. But I think we're gonna have to keep Webbed in A. Halo 2 and 3 both move up into A+ with their sibling. The trilogy of Halo, like I said, like, these guys right here, this collection here, I hold up as some of the best experiences in FPS I've ever had in my life. Like, these games are all astounding for the first-person shooter genre, and I love them. But now, Democracy 4, this is gonna be one, actually both Democracy 4 is gonna be one of those games that takes a hit. It's gonna drop down to A-, for the simple fact of, it is the best I think you could ever make a Democracy game be. But it's a Democracy game. If you've played Democracy, it's lines and charts of the game. I love it because I'm an autistic fuck. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably overrating it because I love it so much. That's why I feel it needs to be knocked down a letter grade. The Sims 3 is gonna stay in A. The Sims 3 is the best Sims game I have ever played, but I don't want to put it in A+, because I think you could make The Sims better. It's just a shame that EA has been consistently making The Sims worse. The open world nature of it, the sort of RPG vibe it has, and again, we're treating these games as full packages. When you have all of the DLC for Sims 3, it is an astoundingly robust game, albeit a little cluttered. Black Mesa. Black Mesa makes the jump up here. Again, joining the collection of some of the best FPSs I've ever played. FPS is so good that they make me angry at the rest of the genre for not being as good as they are. Ultimate Chicken Horse. I actually think I'm probably being a little overly generous with a lot of these. It's also going to be an A+. I've never played another game that is as fun as actually. No. I've never played another game that is as fun to play with friends as Ultimate Chicken Horse when you have the right players. I'm almost tempted to move it down to A, because all it takes is one shitty player being lame to ruin the experience for everybody. But also, I don't see any way you can make a game like Ultimate Chicken Horse and fix that. So, it's gonna go into A+. Minecraft. Is there any fucking doubt where Minecraft goes? Of course Minecraft is A+. I don't need to explain why. It's Minecraft. You all know why it's getting that ranking. Portal 2, one of the best puzzle games ever made with the funniest stories ever, also goes into A+, because of course it would. Where else would it go? Death and Taxes. Death and Taxes is hard to say, because it does the wonderful thing of taking the Papers, Please formula and running with it to create something truly great. My biggest wish with the game was, I wish it was more. That's not to say I wish it was longer, which I do wish. At a certain point, the amount of head-scratch puzzle, like, okay, examining things, goes away. It loses its tension as you get further in the game, and because it wasn't able to hang on to that, I think it's going to stay here. Also, if you're wondering why I'm using the demo image for it, it's because the main image has been replaced by one that I think just looks dramatically worse, and they've never turned it back to the original basic Death and Taxes image. Legends of Runeterra still stands as one of the best examples I've ever seen of a virtual card game, fully taking advantage of its medium and, like, doing what it is better than any other digital card game. It's something that I think other digital card games should look at and take inspiration from. And because of that, I'm actually going to give it an A+. I'd love to play more of it on the channel someday. Plague Inc. Evolved. I want so bad to put Plague Inc. Evolved in A+, because I love the game so much, but it's also, in a lot of ways, does the bare minimum to achieve what it's supposed to be. And I truly believe if they ever made a Plague Inc. 2, they could make something astounding with it. But I don't think I can justify moving it into A+. Turnip Boy robs a bank. Again, I want so bad to give this boy an A+, but it's such a simple game for what it is. It has so much charm, and I feel like if they just took what this game was and built a bigger experience, it'd be incredible. Also, we've moved on, I realized. The song playing now is Champion of the Ballad's End, Breath of the Wild OST, and it's actually about to be ending anyway. I'm trying to call out the songs as they come up. Neo Scavenger. I'm actually going to make a crazy call here. I'm going to take Neo Scavenger, and I'm going to put it down here. Because I haven't actually beaten Neo Scavenger. And I feel like I shouldn't rate it until I've beaten it. Oh, we're now listening to the Dishonored main theme. World of Goo. World of Goo has always held a wonderful, wonderful place in my heart. I adore the game so much. The story is great. The gameplay mechanic is simple but robust and just so good, so good. But I don't think I can get away with putting it past A again. You guys will learn as we go through this. I'm probably a bit of a generous ranker for the most part, but I really want to reserve A for some of the best games I've ever played, and S for the truly best games I've ever played. Cult of the Lamb. Listen, if you've played Cult of the Lamb, you immediately understand why I'm doing this. Especially with how much they've been releasing more content for the game and expanding. Woolhaven, I cannot wait to play. I want to play it on channel at some point. People, please go vote for it. Go vote for Cult of the Lamb on the Discord to make me play it, please. I want to play Woolhaven. But Cult of the Lamb is, again, just incredible. It's like, it went, what if we had Animal Crossing, but built a dungeon crawler roguelike game on top of it? And I love that, and it's so good, and has a patch and improved the game. It's only gotten better. Sonic Frontiers. The best Sonic game I've ever played. That's not saying a lot. It gets A-, and I know your Sonic fans are going to be so mad at me for that. But what drags it down is some of the virtual world segments really do just suck that bad. And like it's one of those things of like, yeah, it's an amazing game, it's one of the best Sonic games ever, and I'm gonna be honest though, I think I'm being generous by just keeping it in A, but I'm not gonna put it out of A because it holds the title of best Sonic game I've ever played. We now have the Unpacking main theme playing, and I'm gonna cry because this song really hits my heartstrings because of how beautiful that game was. Spoilers for upcoming rankings, I suppose. Breath of the Wild. It's the best Zelda game they've ever made, as of the point of when it came out. Amazing. Infinite replayability. It's an A+. It's obviously going into A+. Why would I put it anywhere else? Psychonauts. It is the epitome of PS2 era platformer, and is so filled with beautiful style and vibes and storytelling. I can't move it down, but I don't think I can justify moving up either, because there's so many games that have done what it has done better. Doom. Speaking of shooter games so good they make me angry at the rest of the genre, if you've played Doom 2016, you understand. You don't just play Doom, you feel Doom. This is a game that reverberates through your bones when you're playing it, so of course it's getting ranked highly. Scorn. I want so badly to put Scorn into A+. But that ending was such a blue ball of me wanting more, and seeing the art book and knowing about the 2 cut chapters from the game. If those cut chapters had made it in, specifically that final cut chapter, it would have been an A+, I'm sure. But without those, you can feel the absence of particularly the second cut chapter. And with its absence, I don't think I can move it past A. It's a beautiful, beautiful game, but I can't move it higher. We're now listening to BioShock Welcome to Rapture. Planet Coaster is the best roller coaster building games I've ever gotten. Now, I'm sure Planet Coaster 2 will change my mind on that when I eventually get it and play it, because it's just Planet Coaster but with more stuff. So for now, Planet Coaster goes into A+, but when I play the sequel, I'm sure it's going to knock Planet Coaster 1 down relative to it. Dishonored. Dishonored is one of the best games in the immersive sim genre I have ever played. I love the Dishonored franchise, and I love everything from Arcane. And because of that, Dishonored gets an A+. Unpacking. Listen, you saw me almost cry at this game. You know that I love it. But I also have to acknowledge, it's very basic in its gameplay. It's a beautifully artistic and poetic and lovely game, but I don't think I can justify moving it past A. BioShock 1. Did I? Oh, that was BioShock 2. Right. Honestly, BioShock 1, I know this is controversial, I like a little less than BioShock 2. I think BioShock 2 did a very good job of building on BioShock 1, and because of that, BioShock 1 is going to an A. If BioShock 2 didn't exist, I probably would have given BioShock an A+. But especially compared to Dishonored, which is in a similar genre, Dishonored and BioShock 2 both do what BioShock does better. And so I feel like I can't push BioShock up higher. And the Old World Blues mod still stands as a beautiful example of what modders can do. But until I see that East Coast, we are not moving you out of A. When East Coast eventually comes, I am sure this mod will hit A+. But until this is a finished mod, I cannot move it higher. And with that, we've condensed down the A rankings. Oh boy. How far in are we? 22 minutes? Yeah, I hope y'all are buckled in for a long one here. Portal. I ranked it down into B because Portal 2 puts it so much to shame. But with the existence of B+, we're moving it up to B+. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. It does everything I could ever expect out of a Puyo Puyo Tetris game and more. But I also don't expect a lot out of a Puyo Puyo Tetris game. Staying in B. Rebuild 3 is actually going to go down to B- because I feel like there's so much potential for Rebuild to be better than it is in this game. And also, why is there not a multiplayer mode? You have multi-faction politics and diplomacy stuff implemented. There should have been a 2-player mode. Also, we're listening to Pair Bond from BioShock 2's OST right now. There should have been a multiplayer mode. I cannot believe there wasn't. Pikuniku. I love Pikuniku. Pikuniku's adorable. In fact, it's so adorable that it's moving up into A-. It was only in B because there wasn't a rank below A. Papers, Please. Dude, the game made an entire genre. You know, it redefined how a lot of people view games. And because of that, it's getting moved up to A. Big upgrade for that boy. Creeper World 4. I love Creeper World 4. It's so unique and interesting and weird as a tower defense game that I'm going to move it up to B+. Superland. It's just staying solidly in B. It knows exactly what it is. It does it super good. And let me be clear, B is above C. B is, these are good games. But it is solidly a B-class game. Carrion is so held back by its short length. it needs to be a bigger game. We need a Carrion 2. And because of that, it's going to get moved down to B- because of how woefully short it is. Also, they could have implemented the backtracking elements for upgrades a lot better. Also, we're now listening to the Light in Us All from Planet Coaster's OST. A song that genuinely wells up in my heart a little bit when I hear it. Like, it really does capture that feeling of emotional creativity, this song. Planet Coaster has such a good soundtrack for the kind of game it is. I hear the music of Planet Coaster and I want to create. And I love that. And I want to create whimsy. Metro 2033 Redux. Game was incredible. Very, very solid gunplay with a very interesting RPG element on it. I actually think this is going to get upgraded into the A- territory. The creation of the pluses and minuses is really doing some games a favor. Halo Wars. A good, solid RTS. I just wish that there was, once again, more to it. And because of that, it's staying solidly in B. I can't wait to see where Wars 2 will go in my ranking. And later, Alligator. This game was adorable. This game was so cute. But I also don't think it can justifiably go into the A category because of how simple it is. So it goes into B+ on cuteness factor and beautiful hand animation factor. Now we're moving down to ranking the C's. We're getting a little faster with each category, seems. I feel like Fallout 1 is the epitome of a C game. It is the epitome of a C-class RPG. It does everything I feel like a isometric RPG should do, and nothing more and nothing less. It is tightly designed to be a perfect introduction to a franchise from a developer end and a player end. There's nothing incredibly stand out about it. There's nothing to complain about it. It is the delicious, well-rounded, comfortable meal of gaming. Sid Meier's Civilization 5? That's 5. No, that's 4. That's 6? I'm good with Roman numerals. That Civilization game, it's a C. I'm pretty sure almost every Civ game would go into a C as well. There's not much to say about Civ. Every game changes things a little bit. Every game keeps some things the same. They're just like, again, I feel like if you wanted to give somebody an example of what a 4K strategy game is, Civ is a perfectly bland-flavored example. And Guardians of the Galaxy by Marvel is the same thing for adventure games. Also, we're now listening to Start a Cult from Cult of the Lamb's OST. Guardians of the Galaxy is I love it. It's great. It's a fun game. But it is like the standard stereotype of third-person action-adventure game with RPG elements. There is nothing about it that stands out. There is nothing about it that is particularly memorable. But it's also not forgettable. If I say to you, you remember the Guardians of the Galaxy game, and you've played it, you will always have things in your head that you picture, moments you remember. Because the game is that. But you're not going to be like, oh, I'm hankering for more Guardians of the Galaxy. And so it's C. It's a solid C. Snaky Bus. People are going to be pissed at me for putting it above the games I didn't move. But listen, Snaky Bus makes a promise, it fulfills the promise, and it does more than I would expect out of the promise, and it's goofy fun. And I'm a sucker for goofy fun. It's a perfect turn your brain off for a couple hours game. The only way Snaky Bus could be better is if they put it on the fucking phone. Because I would see myself playing this game on the bus all the time. Honestly, I almost want a Steam Deck just for Snaky Bus. Which I know is crazy. Which is why I don't have a Steam Deck. Overcooked 2. Again, a perfectly solid example of a couch multiplayer game. A game that'll get you and your friends having fun and yelling at each other and having a good time. Like, I don't know what to say to move it higher than C. Tabletop Simulator. So, previously I put it in C because I was like, listen, I love Tabletop Sim. I have so many hours into it, but it feels like cheating to make it ranked higher because of so much of it is Steam Workshop stuff. My view has changed a little bit. I have found other games that tried to do what Tabletop Simulator did, but way worse, like Tabletopia, where they monetize the shit out of it. I don't think Tabletopia is the one that monetizes the shit out of it, but there's things that are like Tabletopia, there are things that are like Tabletop Sim, but are disgustingly monetized. And because of that, I actually feel like, and I should give it credit for being so good with mod support. It's gonna move all the way up to the A- territory. The only reason it's not higher is because it can be very janky sometimes. I've had that game shit at the bed so many times. It's also unreasonably system intensive for the kind of game that it is. It could use some real optimization patches. I have some friends who have some beefy gaming PCs that can't, or gaming laptops that can't run the game. Deepest Sword. It was a game jam game. It was a game in the vein of Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, but it's not as good as Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. It's a C. It achieves everything it's set out to do perfectly. Tracks the train set game. Update this game more, please, developer. I want more toys. I want more in this game. I'm gonna be honest, I'm almost tempted to move it to C-, but I don't think that would be fair because it has been getting somewhat regular updates. If we get what I want is more map levels. I want an entire house to build the toy set in, not just a living room and a bedroom. Give us a bigger house map and more toys, or just a bigger house map. That alone would knock this thing up probably an entire letter. Dwarf Romantic. I would move it into A+ because of how good it is. But I have seen games that took what Dwarf Romantic is and have built on it and have made it free. I have a mobile phone game that is just Dwarf Romantic, but it's in my opinion better because it has landmark wonder tiles that you can place that require you to build certain things around them to like upgrade them, and like that mechanic alone builds on it so much, and it's a free mobile game. Now it is like, oh, watch ads in between levels, but it's not egregious with the ads, it's in between level ads. So yeah, I'm sorry Dwarf Romantic, you're not going higher. Aperture Desk Job, it's a tech demo. It's going into C-. It does what it sets out to do perfectly well, but it's barely a game. Hand of Fate. I think, again, is going to stay solidly in the C. Also, we're now listening to Halo Combat Evolved, Truth and Reconciliation. But yeah, I think Hand of Fate needs to stay in C. There's so many ways it can be improved, and it's why I want to play Hand of Fate 2. And there's so many, like, the main issue is when you get into the late game of Hand of Fate and you're really trying to beat the game, it just gets a little obnoxious in its difficulty curve near the end. It has a very good difficulty curve right up till the end when you're trying to unlock the last handful of stuff and get the proper ending. It just gets very annoying right at the end. Not hard, annoying. And that's the shame. Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Listen, this game's adorable. It's funny. But also, it's a very bare-bones visual novel. It's entirely sold on the comedy of it's a game about Sonic getting killed. C-. Gary's Mod. How can I justify moving Gary's Mod any higher than a C? I know, Gary's Mod is amazing and influential, and the mod support it has, and the game modes it has added in, but it's just a decompilation of the source engine put into a way where you can use it as a toy box. If it was released by Valve themselves, I might rank it a little higher, But it was like a fan project that Valve just went, yeah, sure, we'll let you sell that for money. Because, it's Valve. It's Gary's mod. It's very what it is. Portal Bridge Constructor. Staying in the same place. Those ending level difficulty curves were unforgivable. Ghost Town Pumpkin Festival, whatever, I forget the whole name of it, it's kind of cut off because of the size of this. Man, I meant to be playing that every year, but I only ever played it 1 year. Maybe next Halloween. Maybe next Halloween I'll remember to visit this game again. But it's, it's a pumpkin carving sim where you can look at other people's pumpkins. It's a cute, fun game. It's just gonna stay there. Minute. Minute actually does a very good job of fulfilling its promise. It is a game about a 1 minute long time loop where you are Groundhog's Day through it, and it's a Zelda-like on top of that. It does its job so well that I'm actually gonna move it up to a B-. And now we've broken down the C section. The phrasing there. Well, now we have the D's, and this is going to be some real jumbling around. I feel I wasn't entirely fair to Batman Arkham Origin. But also, I'm totally fair comparing it to the other games in the series. It's a D+. It's still an Arkham game, so it deserves some credit for being that. Fallout 2. Oh, you're all really gonna hate me for this. Listen, I know! Classic Fallout fans love the game. It's famous, it's beloved. It expands on Fallout 1. So I remember how I said that Fallout 1 is my perfect... This is an isometric RPG game. Like, it is a nothing stand out, nothing bad. Fallout 2 takes everything Fallout 1 did and expands on it. It gives us a bigger story, more quests, more polished mechanics, new perks, new weapons, weapon upgrades. It improved more companions, better companions. Like, it improves on it in so many ways. But also, everything wrong with the game gets inflated. And whereas Fallout 1's small number of dungeons did a good job of not overstaying their welcome, Fallout 2 really shows that dungeon crafting was a weak point of the dev team. There's only so many times I can explore a mine shaft full of the same 3 enemies. Their way of ramping up difficulty is, remember that thing I thought fought 5 of last time? Now there's 30 of it! That's not fun. That's boring. It makes the combat take way longer. Fallout 1 never had more than, I think, 20 enemies max in a combat encounter, and it led to everything feeling well-paced. Fallout 2 feels like a slog. I'm sorry. City Skylines 2 was such a letdown compared to City Skylines 1. I loved City Skylines 1 so much. And this game was such a letdown, and I'm gonna be honest, it's a D-. Aperture Tag, a wonderful, fun experience that if it was just a mod, would have been an A+ mod. But you have to pay money for this. And because of that, I'm sorry, but it's a D. Because if I'm comparing it to Portal, the game that it's a mod of, it's nowhere near as good as Portal, and I had to pay money for it. I don't like that. I know, I'm being a fucking entitled gamer here. Aperture Tag should have been free. If Portal Stories Mel is free, if Thinking with Time Machines is free, Aperture Tag, those games deserve money way more than Aperture Tag did. And I'm not saying Aperture Tag doesn't deserve money, but compared to its contemporaries, it's not as good as them. And it's the one that they charge money for. And now we look to Spore. Oh, Spore, When I ranked you, I was so mad at EA because of how much they fucked you up and ruined you in the long run because of how annoying EA's online servers are. But that's not on the game. Spore doesn't deserve to be shat on for that. Spore deserves to be shat on for not fulfilling the promises of its development because of EA, and a little bit to be shat on for the online servers not working well for me. So it's gonna where if the online servers worked, it would probably be an A game. So we're gonna move it down a whole letter grade. And with that, we have re-ranked every game that I've played already. So now we gotta rank the games I beat this year. Starting with Tears of the Kingdom. Sorry that this is so chunky looking. Tears of the Kingdom. If Breath of the Wild was the best Zelda game ever made when it came out, what does that make Tears of the Kingdom? A game that makes Breath of the Wild look bad. Like, I can't stress that enough. Breath of the Wild, best Zelda game ever made in my opinion. The pinnacle of the franchise is unplayable after playing Tears of the Kingdom because of how much it expands on the game narratively, mechanically, world design wise. And granted, it's working off the skeleton of Breath of the Wild, but you know what? I'm not going to hold that against it. I honestly wish more games did that. That was something I praised Saints Row for doing for a while, because, you know, using a map from a previous game and just expanding it and adding new things, I think is a really smart way to save time on development and allow you to focus on just making a bunch of new cool shit. I wish more games did that. Honestly, if they made a new Dishonored game, I would want it to return to Dunwall and just make it an open world environment. I want more games to just reuse their old world maps, especially open world games, so long as you give us enough stuff to make up for it, which Tears of the Kingdom does. And this is gonna be wild. I think Tears of the Kingdom is an S-class game, above Night in the Woods and below Hypnospace Outlaw. It is one of my favorite games of all time, and I genuinely recommend more people play it. Oh, we're now listening to the Arbiter's theme from Halo 2. Now for Prey. Remember how I said I love every game from Arcane? And Dishonored, when I played it, was the pinnacle of the immersive sim genre? Everything good about Dishonored, the whole franchise, is made better in Prey simply because of its Metroidvania world. The map of Prey really highlights everything good about Dishonored, where Dishonored requires 2 to 3 playthroughs for you to really see how well made the levels are and how well made the world is. Prey, through making you backtrack up and down the ship, forces you to see how good the level design is. Because at every single stage of the game, every time you re-go through that lobby, every time you revisit the atrium, every time you see the nightmare again, you're different. You've grown, you've changed, the ship has affected you, and you have new ways of handling it. And the story is beautiful, so good that I don't want to talk about it because I just want people to play it. It understands gaming and the stories of games so well, and it tackles similar themes to what the BioShock series tried to tackle, but better than BioShock did. And let's not even forget about Moon Crash. Moon Crash is astounding use to take the immersive sim genre and give us a roguelike using its mechanics is genius. It's incredible. I only wish we got the second Prey DLC they had planned, because they were planning a second DLC, and that would have been even better. And I want a Prey sequel, but I know we won't get a Prey sequel because Bethesda's stupid. But we can always pray for a spiritual successor. Pun intended. in case it's not clear, Prey is another game going into S-Class, this time above Hypnospace and below Outer Wilds. Again, the further right you are in S-Class, the more amazing of a game I think it really is. And now we have Death Stranding. If I haven't been geeking out enough, I've always loved the works of Hideo Kojima. He is a creative inspiration for me. Like, I've been, for the last year, working diligently on my tabletop system. And I finished the skeleton framework, and now I need to start making actual themes and settings. And my first two settings I'm really focusing on, Opus Magnum and Gods of Bronze. I haven't talked too much about Gods of Bronze on streams at all. Opus Magnum draws a lot of inspiration from the storytelling style of Hideo Kojima. Hideo Kojima reminds me that writing a story can be fun. Like, he manages to tell impressive stories that are deep and meaningful and emotionally impactful that are also so fucking stupid, but not in a bad way. You know, there's so many things, there's so much dumb wink at the camera moments, and like, you know, every word out of Higgs's mouth is cringeworthy in a way that doesn't make you cringe. And like, that's what Hideo Kojima does so well, is he makes things that feel like you should be cringing at them, but you don't, because the game primed you for it so well. And when he's not doing that, he's making you tackle really interesting philosophical topics. Every game in the Metal Gear series both hammers home the running theme of the scars war leaves on people, while also tackling its own theme, whether it be expectations of the society, or expectations of self, or the pain we cause on others, or the forgetting of the past to move forward, and the holding on to the past that weighs us down. And it's so beautiful. And Death Stranding has his first independent game without a studio hanging over him, where he could really be him and do what he wanted to. It captures everything that is Hideo Kojima so well. But the glitches in this game, when they happen, are the most mind-numbingly infuriating glitches in gaming, because of how tight the rest of the game is. When those bugs appear, they ruin it. And this is gonna sound really bad, but that drags it down to A+, because it's so hard to recommend this game to other people, because it's so slow. And like, I love the slowness. The slowness is so important to the narrative flow, because it makes you feel every step of Sam's journey. When you're doing those steps, and then Sam stumbles and gets launched at light speed off a cliff, as much as it pulls you into it, it pulls you out of it. Also, song just changed. We're now listening to Warthog Run from Halo 3. You know, I want so bad to place it in S, but I don't think I can. Marble Blast. I missed this game last time. And I'm gonna be honest, it's the epitome of a C game. It knows what it is. It is a game about rolling marbles. It is a game about pissing you off with its intense difficulty. It is a game of wacky music that is fun at first and becomes more mind-numbing the longer you're stuck on a level. This game knows what a bastard it is, and it revels in it. And I love it for that. But it's a C, because it's just what it is, and it's nothing astounding. It's a perfect example of a C-class game. Hitman World of Assassination. A game that I've beaten, but I'm sure many viewers have noticed I'm still playing. It's become a mainstay of the channel every Wednesday. And I've said many times in my playthrough, if I could pick one game, if I was only allowed to choose a single game that I could play for the rest of time, never touch any other games, it would be Hitman. Because of the level of flexibility in execution. Because of the ability to go loud or quiet or semi-loud, or to dick around and just turn your brain off, to follow objectives or not. Because of the breadth of it. Because of the amount of support it continues to receive even to this day. Because of the content that is promised but isn't even here yet. It is one of my favorite games ever. And like, I'm gonna be honest, Hitman isn't just a stealth game, it's an immersive sim game. You know, it gives you so many options to tackle everything that it is in my top games of all time. But it does go below Prey, because while Hitman's the game I could see myself playing forever, Prey is a game I'd never want to let go of my one playthrough of. Same goes for Outer Wilds. I would take only ever having been able to play these games and nothing else over being able to play this game forever. Getting a lot of S classes. It's been a good year for the channel. Halo 3 ODST. I know it's a DLC and not a full game, but really it also feels so much like its own game that it deserves a standalone slot. And like, what can I say about Halo 3 ODST? It took all of the great mechanics of Halo 3 and built on them, improving it and actually creating a unique vibe in its open world environment with stealth action moments. The way it tells its story of you recovering the memories of, or the recordings of your teammates' missions, and getting these sort of level segments you go off of around a central open world that you're almost having to play like a stealth game to a degree. And that beautiful neo-jazz music it has, and that backside story that I missed a lot of elements to. It's got so many little hidden elements for you to find. Really, it is the pinnacle of the Halo series. And so, along with its brothers, it goes into A+. And the only thing stopping it from being an S, really, is how short it is. Which I know isn't entirely fair, especially because it was a DLC, but let me tell you this. If Reach is even close to how good Halo 3 ODST was, we might be looking at the first Halo game to break S-Class, but I don't know because I haven't played it yet. And I remember everything I just said about Death Stranding 1, about the amazing story and the way that it makes you play with what a game is, and the everything I just said about Death Stranding, all of that, but with refined gameplay, a polished story flow, removal of all the bugs, and even more Hideo Kojima stupid, amazing, stupid shit. Death Stranding 2 joins the S-Class category of the channel. Again, we were eating good this year. It beats Hitman and goes right here. It's, you know, the reason it and Hitman are the games I'm still playing on this channel. It's just that good. It's just that good. I'm gonna be honest, I would have kept playing Hypnospace past its finish if my life wasn't so hectic at the time. The only reason it didn't stay around and get promoted was I was in a very hectic time. But yeah, these games are truly some of the best games I've ever played. I adore all of them. Night in the Woods, I might be biased just because it was the perfect moment in my life for me to play the game. Because, you know, I was a queer in my mid-20s trying to figure out where I'm going in my life, or my early 20s. And it's a game about a queer in their early 20s figuring out where they're going in life. Like, it really did just hit me at just the right time in my life. And now we look at Mass Effect. Oh, Mass Effect. What amazing character development. That is such a letdown that every single main character's main quest ends in a wet fart of nothing happening. What an amazing main story that is dragged down by lame as hell side quests. What super fun vehicle segments that are dragged down by the open-ended vehicle segments that are all exactly the same. What amazing gunplay that is held down by an absolute slog of an inventory system. What incredible writing that is held down by a horrible dialogue system that doesn't tell you enough about your options you're selecting. There's so much good about Mass Effect, and there's so much bad about Mass Effect. I want to love Mass Effect 1 more than I do, and I can only hope that the sequels are better. I would say as if I wasn't playing through Mass Effect 2 right now on the channel and seeing how every single problem with this game can be so infinitely easily fixed by the sequel. It's a C- game. And I'm gonna be honest, if it just had a better UI, it probably would have jumped all the way to C+, but that UI and inventory system was just so bad. And the quest log is so poorly put together that I had to open a notepad document on the side to track my quests on my own. A game any game made after the 2000s shouldn't make you do that. You should be able to track everything in game. You shouldn't need to pull out separate things unless you're making a game like Myst. RPGs shouldn't need you to have a pen and paper in the modern day. Fight me on that. You should be able to, even if you don't want to make the player if you want to make the player take their own notes, just give us an in-game note taker that we can use on our own, or an actually usable galaxy map. All right, and with that, we have re-ranked every game we play this year, and the music has switched to C418's Minecraft Volume Alpha song. Nothing in the F category this year. We dragged Spore up and nothing lands in the F now. And I view that as an absolute win for gaming as a whole and the channel as a whole. That I've not played anything on the channel that made me absolutely hate it. So, yeah, there's that done. It was a nice walk down memory road, being able to talk about all these games again and just like spew about them and rearrange their ranking. I will take this and I will remove the question mark section and I will post it into the Discord along with this video if anybody wants to look at this and maybe rearrange the games on their own. Everything down in the question mark section now is games that I played on the channel at some point and just never beat. Deltarune, and actually, hang on, let's quickly talk about this list right now. Deltarune is now being played on the channel. A playthrough of it is currently going on, and it will see its ranking soon enough. And I'm gonna say this, when I rank Deltarune, I'm gonna rank Undertale with it. Because I've played and beaten Undertale, and I'm never gonna play it on the channel, I feel like it deserves to be put onto the list. A lot of these games, our Iron Harvest is being played on the channel very slowly, one video a week. And we'll see its ranking happen soon, so let's tuck that up here. A lot of these games are games I want to get back to and play again. You know what? I can rank Among Us right now. Among Us is a C+ game. It takes the hidden character genre of gaming and it makes it incredibly active and fun. It's free, it reaches out to dozens of people. It's an easy C class. But yeah, a lot of these games I want to get around to playing slowly on the channel. But it's just gonna take some time to get there. You can of course always help by requesting them on the Discord and voting them up nice and high. A lot of these games I'd love to play more of. Something to see I gotta get back to. New Vegas, that's another one that is currently getting played through on the channel. So let's just slide up here as a reminder of that, go check out Fallout New Vegas videos going up every week on Friday. We are very, very close to beating the game. I'd say that I'll probably still be trying to beat it by this time next year. Borderlands, as of this time, being played through with my friend Doodlezar. So let's move it up into here as a reminder that, yep, that game is being played right now on channel. Stardew Valley, I was playing with friends and I got back into. Same goes for Grounded. Cannot wait for this game to its full release. All of these are all currently being played on the channel. Here we go. So let's move all of these up. So these are all games that are currently being played on the channel to some capacity. You know, Deltarune has a major series going up 3 times a week. Iron Harvest going up once a week. Fallout as Fallout Fridays going up once a week. Borderlands with Doodlezar once a week. Mass Effect, a major series, getting 3 videos a week. World of Goo 2 is getting 3 videos a week. Turnip Boy is going once a week, getting promoted very soon because, spoiler alert, I already beat World of Goo 2 over on the Twitch end, so Turnip Boy is going to get promoted very soon. Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, major series getting played 3 times a weekend. Grow Home, a minor series getting played once a week on Saturdays. Look at all that. And let's just compress some of these down, huh? You know, I'd love to get back into some of these. You know, the Nitrum series was great, and I gotta get back into it. I love the Command & Conquer franchise and want to go play Tiberium Sun again. A lot of these channels just got hit the chopping block either because they were a game I was specifically playing with my ex-girlfriend, so when we broke up, I discontinued the series on the channel. Or were games that fell victim to either I was playing it with friends and they were no longer available to play, or fell victim to changes in the channel schedule during times when my life got hectic, and I just haven't gotten around to revisiting yet. There we go, and with that, I'm going to be able to compress down the size of this this document a little bit. Because, boop, canvas size. Boop, boop. View, grid, show, grid. What the heck? View, show, grid. I'm doing this for a reason, sorry. Edit, or sprite, canvas size. Oh, I was not paying attention to the music changes. We just finished listening to World of Goo's Brave Adventure, and now we're listening to Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion's main menu theme. God, I love Turnip Boy Commits, loved Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. Alright, let's turn that grid off. So yeah, there's our new ranking board. We are very rapidly chopping through my need to revisit games. I would love to return to Deponia, as irritating as that game was. Nitrum I need to get back to and finish. So we haven't even gotten to my favorite Nitrum games yet. The Fallout Equestria Hearts of Iron mod, yeah, I want to revisit that. It'd be goofy and fun. Command & Conquer, love that series. I don't know if I'll ever revisit this mod, because I suck at base Hearts of Iron, but we'll see. Terraformer, you know, I loved the demo, want to play. All these games are games that I loved and I want to revisit one day. I think I'd do this as a multiplayer thing with one of my friends that loves the game. But yeah, a lot of things here. Yeah. Man. It's been a wild year for the channel. You know what, I'm gonna move that away. And I'm just gonna sit here and talk with all of you a little bit more. You know, we've been here for an hour. What's another hour? I just want to say again, thank you so much to everybody. You know, this last year of my life has been a particularly impactful one. It's been the year that I've been able to start properly putting my life together. In a lot of ways, and the support from all of you has been a really big part in that. Like, I started this channel 5 years ago, still stuck with living with my parents, not knowing jack shit about how any of Twitch or YouTube or video editing or recording worked. I made some terrible videos in the early days. I didn't know how to make things good. I didn't have a Discord to communicate with people. I was just winging it, you know? Oh, we moved on to the next song for the good of mankind. Okay, hang on, we're gonna skip this song because that's a little high energy. Oh god, Doom's BFG division. Move on. Hang on, this is too high energy. Oh god, hang on, please. Oh god, we're in the high energy section of the music. Give us something calm. Okay, here we go. The Webbed OST. Hello, little spider. Back to calm music. But yeah, 5 years ago I started this channel, and like I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew like I wanted to do something productive, and YouTube when I was young brought me comfort. Watching people like Yogscast and Chugga Conroy and later on Game Grumps. These channels, you know, they Yuri of Wind, oh my god, it's been years since I watched that channel. Watching these channels really brought me comfort in the low points of my life. And, you know, I thought, like, you know, if this stuff made me happy, and I'm gonna play video games either way, I might as well put it out there, you know? I might as well take my hobby, record it, and throw it out there to share it with others. And I've always said, if at one point, one of my videos made one person's day a little bit better, the channel would be a success. And now, over 500 subscribers later, I don't know how many Twitch followers because it's so many bots mixed in with normal people. Hundreds of videos, dozens of playthroughs. Later, like I feel like I've achieved that bare minimum of making one person's day a little bit better. And those who comment on the videos and talk with me on the Discord, and like show up to the streams, you all really help make it worthwhile. You help make me feel like this whole doing this is worth it, you know? And you know, like I said, I'd be playing the games anyway, so why not? And even if I was getting no viewers, I'd probably still be doing this Twitch and YouTube thing because it's fun and it keeps me together to a degree. These last 5 years have been such a growing time for me. Like I said, I was living with my parents not knowing anything, and now I'm living with my brother, really. So, but you know, better off than I was in a place where I'm paying rent more. I'm working jobs and such, and I've just, you know, and my Heart of Action system that I began developing a decade ago is hitting its stride and probably getting finished soon. Keep an eye on the Ko-fi because I might start releasing some Heart of Action content to Ko-fi supporters soon. But this channel's just been like such a boon to my life and my mental state in making me feel more connected to more people, and it gives me an excuse to reach out to friends and make them play games with me. It gives me an excuse to work more on my tabletop system. It makes me do the things I want to do that I would struggle to do otherwise. And I'm gonna get a little heavy here for a moment. A little over a year ago, I had made an attempt on my life a little over a year ago. I don't think I ever talked much about it on the channel at the time, because of course I wouldn't. I just had to cancel a few streams, and I spent a night in a hospital and began talking to some professionals. And, you know, a year on from that, I'm probably in the best place I've ever been in my life. And this channel is no small part of that. Like, just knowing that there's like people who look forward to seeing my content means so much. I feel like the things I work on, even the things you guys don't see, the things that are in the works in the background, it's not time wasted. Even if it's a project I spend time on that ends up getting scrapped and never hits the YouTube channel, check out my Redbubble. There's a thing being sold called Ollieland. It's like a design for shirts and like puzzles and stuff. That is actually a remnant from an entirely scrapped video that never came to fruition. A dead end project, but I was able to salvage something from it to give to all of you. Like, there's projects that I start off that you guys never see, that never get finished, but like, it doesn't feel like time wasted because it's time spent trying to come up with things to make all of you happy, to give all of you something pleasant. Whether it's me being dumb or me pissing off my friends or whatever it is, like this channel just, it feels like that I'm doing something good. And it's like it's not like I'm just, saving lives. It's not like I'm like doing anything astounding, but it feels like I'm part of something bigger than myself. Every time I start recording, every time I start streaming, every time I think about my videos, I'm doing something for for that small group of people, really, who engage with my content. Ooh, we're now listening to Shooting Star Summit from Paper Mario. Lost my train of thought there. Yeah, it's just, thank you all so much, is all I can say. Like, every year I find the same issue of there's just not the words to say how grateful I am to my viewers. And my supporters as well, especially. Like, again, I love and appreciate all of you more, but like the people who are willing to donate money, like, that helps the channel to do more, and it helps me in times where I'm struggling financially. There's been times where those Ko-fi donations, were the difference between whether or not I got a lunch on a day. It's like that it makes a difference. They pay for Uber rides, they pay for meals, they pay, like, it's a small amount of money, but that small amount of money makes a difference in my financial situation. And like, God, this last Christmas that just passed by, somebody donated $200, a user by the name of No, and I was blown away, because like, I had just lost my job like maybe 3 days before that donation, and I was stressed about where I was gonna get money to help pay for things I needed, and then that came through. And like, again, it's not even just the financial stuff, but just like having people hop in the comments and say that, a particular moment in one of my videos made them happy. I was listening to Beats to Relax / Murder 2 from Death and Taxes now. Just having people in the comments hop up and say how what I've done has helped them, it's just, or how they've enjoyed it. It means so, I can't even put it into words. Every comment makes me so happy. Every Discord message, every person who joins the chats on Twitch, it all means the world to me. Man, I'm talking too softly and my VTuber model's mouth isn't moving. It means the world to me, all of it. And I just thank you all for the last 5 years. And here's hoping I can do this for 5, 10, 50 more years. However long I can be. If I have a computer and internet connection, I'm gonna keep sending things to all of you, because you all keep making it worth it for me too. Love you all very, very much. And I'll see all you next year. Ta-ta for now.